Hello and welcome back to the Turning Stories channel. I'm Cora, and today I want to share some of the books that I really want to read that are at the top of my TBR, but I haven't read yet. Most of them are books that I do own. I just haven't read them yet, and two of them are books from the library that I'm hoping to read before I have to take them back. We'll see what happens, and these are in no particular order. These are just ones that are at the top of my shelf, and I'm just looking at them every time I really want to read these books, but I don't know. We'll see. And hopefully this gives you guys some good recommendations for books as well. A few of them are books from, or I guess only a couple of them are from the writer box I get every month. Other ones are just ones I've picked up over time from going to bookstores. And I go to Goodwill a lot, actually, because they have copies of books that aren't really in too terrible of condition. So I guess we'll get started. Some of these I don't actually even know what they're about. The covers look pretty or people talk about them a lot, so I really want to read them. So the first one is The Six of Crows, which I'm sure everyone has heard about. And this one has another book in the series, and then the same author wrote the Shadow and Bone series. So this is by Leigh Bardugo. This one is about, let's see, a convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, and a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Kaz's crew are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first. So I know this takes place in each character's point of view. There's, if I could find a chapter and it'll tell me, I think, whose point of view it's in. Yeah, so chapter 3 is in Kaz's point of view, so it'll tell you each character's point of view, and it's following 6 different characters and their quest to do whatever they're doing. So this book seems really fun. It seems like it'll be a really good read. I just need to finally read it, get into it, because this one is from the library. That's why it's so shiny, because it came from the library, and I do have to return it at some point. Although I might buy this book for myself if I end up liking it. So that's all I can say about that one, because I don't really know anything about this book. I just know a lot of people really loved this book. So that is the first book on the list. The next one is because I watched all the movies the other day because, or not the other day, I watched them a couple weeks ago because Dylan O'Brien is one of the greatest actors I have ever seen. Season 3B of Teen Wolf, absolutely amazing acting. And then in Maze Runner, and he was in a couple other movies that I watched, but they weren't my kind of movies, so I was just kind of like, whatever. But I watched them anyways because he was in them. But the Maze Runner series, I've watched all 3 movies, and this actually has, so there's 3 books in the series, but then there's the Kill Order and the Fever Code, which are kind of like novellas that go to these books that are in the same universe. And this book's not that long. It's 300 and something pages. Okay, so maybe it is kind of long, but it doesn't feel like it, because look at how thin this book is. Maybe it's because the pages are really thin. So this one is about, let's see, when Thomas wakes up in the lift, the only thing he can remember is his name. He's surrounded by a stranger, boys whose memories are also gone. Nice to meet you, Shank. Welcome to the Glade. Outside the towering stone walls that surround the Glade is a limitless, ever-changing maze. It's the only way out, and no one's ever made it through alive. Everything is going to change. Then a girl arrives, the first girl ever, and the message she delivers is terrifying. Remember, survive, run. So already from the back of this book, it sounds amazing, but I do know what happens and everything because I watched all the movies. But I want to see what the difference is between the movies and the books, because I'm pretty sure I read I don't remember if I finished this book or I read half of it in high school, but I remember the book being better than the movies, because obviously books are always better than movies, but that's just a personal opinion. But I definitely want to read this, and Wicked is good. don't forget it. And see what things there are in the book that were not mentioned or shown in the movie. Because obviously, if you went word for word from a book, a movie would be like 8 hours long, which I wouldn't be opposed to, and I don't think a lot of people would be. But I definitely want to read this book. This is at the top of my list, along with Six of Crows, because this one is also from the library. I have not bought this series yet, but if I enjoy this book as much as I did in high school, I think I will buy this series of 5 books now. So we'll see about that. The next 2 books kind of go together because they're from 2 different light novel series. So the Overlord light novel series, which, can we just like talk about how beautiful the art is here? This is so pretty. Are you kidding me? Are you, what? And the other one is really good too. But Overlord is a manga and anime series that is currently still running. I have, let me look here. I think I have up to book 16. I believe they're on 17, but we're waiting for it to get translated into English. Because that's what happens with these. These are actually Japanese books. And they get translated to English in these beautiful copies with this beautiful red interior. And the covers are just so pretty. And then they're all hardcover for this series specifically. And they're so expensive because of it. And then there's always at the front of the book, they always have this beautiful art. I can't show you the whole thing because I don't think I'm going to be able to hold the book open. But they have this beautiful art. And then on the back, there's a map that's important to the story. So that's really cool. And then each book has a different like little poster thing that stays in the book and just looks pretty. And then at the back, there is, come on, show it to me please, thank you. We get little character profiles. Because this book, so let me just read the little excerpt on the inside here, because it kind of sets the mood, the tone, whatever, what these, this series is about. And I don't know how long this series is going to be, because like I said, I have like 16 of them, and they are slowly taking over an entire shelf on my bookshelf, which I have like I have 4 shelves, I think there's 4. But, I'm sort of slowly taking up the whole thing because it's just such a long series. And it's a really good series, too. I read the 1st and 2nd and started the 3rd, but I was like a couple years ago now because I was reading other books. So I want to restart this series and actually finish it this time. So this, the Overlord series is, let's see, let me read the insert here, or the excerpt here. So, for 12 years, the virtual world of Yggdrasil has served as the playground and battlefield for the skeletal overlord Momonga and his guild of fellow monsters. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna butcher all of these names. Ainz Al Gaon. But the guild's glory days are over and the game is shutting down permanently. When Momonga logs in one last time just to be there when the servers go dark, something happens, and suddenly, fantasy is reality. A rogue's gallery of fanatically devoted NPCs is ready to obey his every order, but the world Momonga now inhabits is not the one he remembers. The game may be over, but the epic tale of Ainz Al Gaon is only beginning. So this series seems pretty. I'm really excited to get back into this series. I think it'll have a lot of interesting things happen and adventures and whatnot, so that'll be really cool. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And then the next book, I'll show you in just a minute. So this one is going to be the Saga of Tanya the Evil. This one is going to be a little bit harder for me to get into. It's more for my husband, and there's actually really pretty pictures in here. Well, let me find a really nice one. Oh, this one has posters in it too. I don't know if you want to. Oh, so it goes this way, sorry. I thought it went the other way. There's some really pretty art here, which is really cool. I don't know what that is down there. Oh, and then we have one of Tanya herself. That's actually really pretty. I kind of like that a lot. So that's really cool. So the series of the Saga of Tanya the Evil, I have 10 or 11 of these books. They're not hardcover like the last one was, but they're made by the same people. Not the same author, but the same people. distribute it, and I like that because it's not worn, like, it's not worn out like that. It's just, that's what they've chosen for the aesthetic of the books. But this series is, it's kind of like if we went back to wartime, like the 1940s, I think. I could be wrong. I'm going to read this and people are going to tell me I'm wrong. But so we go back to wartime, way back when. Add magic now, though, and all that. So that's basically this story. And I'm not really a big wartime fan. I don't like all that stuff. But the series does sound pretty interesting. And the books really aren't that long. They're maybe like 300 pages. Some are longer, some are shorter, but around 300 pages. So it shouldn't be too bad. My husband's really into this series, though, so I also want to read it just so we have something to, we can maybe enjoy it together and stuff like that. So, the answer on this one is high above the blood and mud-soaked trenches, a young girl pits herself against army mages in high stakes, aerial duels with bullets, spells, and bayonets. Her name is Tanya. Yeah, we're not trying that last name. And she is the devil of the Rhine, one of the greatest soldiers the Empire has ever seen, but inside her mind lives a ruthless, calculating ex-slaveryman who enjoyed a peaceful life in Japan until he woke up in a war-torn world. Reborn as a destitute orphan girl with nothing to her name but the memories of a previous life, Tanya will do whatever it takes to survive, even if she can find it only behind the barrel of a gun. This is actually a lot more interesting than I thought it was. And then I don't know, it's hard to show you, but I'm pretty sure that's a different language. I don't know what language, but that's there. Des Lovolt? I don't know, but that's cool. And then the art on here is very pretty as well. Like, I mean, what? And each book, the art is just so pretty, and it's very cool to look at the art for these books, too. I do love that a lot. And then in okay, we do get character profiles in the back of this one. Or not the, what is this? Oh, this is, so, is this actual history or just history for this book? I don't know. And the chapters are really short. They're almost like episodes within a book. The other book is like that too. They're like chapters. The chapters are like episodes, and it's really interesting. I kind of like it that way. This is interesting. It kind of shows you like their battle plans and stuff, and their map of what they're doing and stuff, and it's kind of cool. Interesting. They have like author notes at the end and stuff, but I didn't know it was a Japanese man that had been living a peaceful life and just got popped into the body of a she's young, I don't know how young, but young girl, and has to fight and stuff. So that's really cool. Now I actually really want to read this series. I just don't like wartime, but I'm sure I'll get over it, and I think reading it'll be fun. And this one has art in it as well. That's not the greatest picture. Is there a better one in here? I mean, even between chapters, they have full art between chapters, and then, I mean, I guess I'll use this one. And then there's just art in the middle of the book. That's all over the place. All these, like, gray pages here. That's all just different art and stuff that they have for each chapter. So that's really cool. Overlord does the same thing, actually. And I think it makes the reading experience a lot more fun. And it helps kind of kickstart your imagination in a way. Like, oh, this is what's happening. I can just continue to, go on and stuff about whatever's going on. Oh, I think all the chapter thingies are the same, but I love that there's just art there, though. That's so cool. Are those the same? Yeah. Anyways, that's another series I want to read. A very long series, though, so those two are going to take me quite some time to read. And then the next one, I'm currently reading Midnight Sun, and I'm annotating it, and then I'll update you guys when I have more of it read or when I have it finished. I'm only like 3 chapters in, because, man, annotating takes a lot of time. I'm like 60 pages in, and it doesn't look like I've done anything, but I have sticky notes and stuff. But when I annotate, I just write whatever comments pop into my head and kind of go with it. Like, Evan, what the hell were you thinking? Stuff like that. So I also picked up Twilight, just the first book currently, so I guess I will have a, what is it? I'll have the paperback set of the Twilight books because this one was only like $8 at Target when I was there. So I was like, steal, I'm taking it. So now I have to read this book and annotate it as well. And I want to make a video of the differences between the books, and probably a review on the book separately and then comparing them, just because that's what I want to do. And a lot of this, I know that a lot of the chapter titles, oh my gosh, interesting. I love reading lines from this book because I know the Twilight series. Okay, to back up just a little bit. I know the Twilight series so well. I rewatch the movies very often. It's kind of a curse at this point that I know them so well and I can quote them easily. You can show me 3 seconds. I know exactly what part of the movie and which one we're in, what's happening, who's doing what. But the books, I have read the first one and the third one when I was in middle school. I have not read them since. I've read bits and pieces, and I've watched the movies many, many times. But I do want to, like, actually read the books now. So even opening this book to whatever page, I already know, oh my god, I already know what's happening in this book because of what, like, line I've read and whatnot. And this one's, it's about 400 pages, so it'll take me some time to get through it, but I am excited to have another book to annotate, because I think I'm going to do the Twilight series, and then I'll pick other books later, but I think I want to stick to a series so I can get used to how I like to annotate and stuff like that. So that's another book I really want to read, because I want to make a video on it, so that's cool. The next one is a book I read, oh gosh, at least 5 years ago now. This is one of the first books I ever bought when I moved here. And I read this book in probably like 2 days, 2.5 days, something like that. It's the fastest I've ever read a book in my life. And I wish I could read that fast all the time. I think it has to do with the large print too, though. Like, there's not that many words on a page. So I was able to get through this book fairly quickly. And this book is called Turtles All the Way Down by none other than, of course, there's a little picture in the back, none other than John Green. I have to say, not that he writes good books, but that I have read, let's see, I've read Looking for Alaska, Turtles All the Way Down, Fault in Our Stars. Everybody read that book in high school. And there's one other one I've read, and I don't remember what it's called. I don't think it's on my shelf either. Oh, Paper Towns. I read that too. It is on my shelf, actually. So I want to reread this book because it's been so long since I read it. And I remember the general idea of this book, but I do want to reread it because and you know, the reason I bought it at the time was because it had turtles in the name, so I thought it would be something to do with turtles. Absolutely not. It's a metaphor that's used in the book, but still a really good book about, like, mental illness and something like that. So let's see. Oh, interesting. Maybe I don't remember this book as well as I thought. It says, 16-year-old Ozza never intended to pursue the mystery of fugitive billionaire Russell Pickett, but there's a $100,000 reward at stake, and her best and most fearless friend Daisy is eager to investigate. So together they navigate the short distance and broad divides that separate them from Russell Pickett's son, Davis. Ozza is trying. She's trying to be a good daughter, a good friend, a good student, and maybe even a good detective, while also living with the ever-tightening spiral of her own thoughts. In this long-awaited return, John Green, the acclaimed shares Ozza's story with shattering, unflinching clarity in this brilliant novel of love, resilience, and the power of lifelong friendship. Okay, so this book is what I remember to be. But I do want to reread this because it's been like 5 years since I read it, like I said. So I'm adding this to the list of books I really want to read, because I remember it being really good. And like I said, I read it in like 2 days because I just could not put this book down. So I'm looking forward to reading this book again. I think that's the only book I'm rereading so far on this list from recent, like, books that I've read, because the rest of them I've either read half of it or have not read it since, like, middle school. So, oh, I forgot the little nameplate was in there. I put that back in there. This next book, it's just really pretty, and I want to read it so bad because it looks cool. And it sounds really cool too. I'll read the back in a minute. The back is really long though, so it'll take me a hot minute to get through it. But this book came from one of the writer boxes that I get every month. I actually just looked earlier, and when I was trying to pick out the books that I've been looking for, um, I've gotten like 25-ish books from them, and I've never read any of them, so I'm going to add this to the list. This one is called The Museum of Magic. This one came in a couple months ago, a few months ago, something like that. It wasn't the March one. Maybe it was. I don't know. It's February or March. I don't remember. But, this book just looks so cool. Oh, look at that. The chapter headers are so pretty. Are they all like that? Or are they different? Something's underlined. That's weird. Oh, yeah, they are all like that. That's so cool. What a pretty intro. And this one, it looks like each chapter, yeah, is the title is a tarot card, and it'll tell you what it means underneath it. Like, one of these chapters is Ten of Pentacles, transposed, quarrels, family troubles, loss of community, materialism. Why are they all transposed? That's weird. Is that supposed to be like a bad thing or something? Yeah, I think so. That's very interesting. Oh, wait a minute. Was that picture different? Wow, this is interesting. So this book is about Emmy Castor grew up in a small town near Salem. Her home is centuries old, originally built by an ancestor renowned for witchcraft. Her grandfather converted the house into the Museum of Magic, collecting the arcane and putting it on display for all to see. But Emmy knows one thing for absolutely certain. Magic is not real. But when a Fey boy named Puck appears inside her house, the broken remains of a century-old witch bottle at his feet, at nearly the same time a hunter arrives on her doorstep, weapons drawn. Ghostly shadows call to her from the mirror, and Emmy's grandfather is missing, perhaps kidnapped by the nefarious Fey, perhaps victim of one of those who prey on magic. History hides the truth. Puck tells Emmy that she has the power to protect magical beings. He is Fae, but he is also her only ally, and together they explore the real-life history of witchcraft, mingled with the unknown influence of the Fae. Emmy must reconstruct the witch bottle, save her grandfather, and maybe even fall in love, but she has to be careful. You can never trust the Fae. So that sounds really fun, and I really want to read it. And because it's oh, that's weird. I don't like that that's on the back like that. It's very strange. So, this came out in January, apparently. Does it say that on the front? Oh, does it not have a... No, it has to. Oh my gosh, it doesn't. It says copyright 2022, but it says on the back it was made in January 22nd of 2020. Maybe that's when this one was printed specifically. Anyways, this book seems really good, and I would love to see what happens in this book. There's so many pages. It is 310 pages? 22 pages. Not bad. And the pages are so, like, white, too. Like, they're not, like, the usual, like, cream color that pages are. They're, like, actually white. So, this will be interesting. Maybe I'll annotate this one. A lot of the books that I have, minus the light novels, I probably will end up annotating if they're my own books, because... they're my books, and if I want to put details in it, I will. The next book is... oh my god, this book is so long. How long is this book? Not that long, apparently. That's an appendix. Okay. So, this book is not nearly as long as it needs to be, or that it looks like it is, so it's... all of this is just appendix stuff telling you about the story. Oh my god, there's more in this series? What? There's 6 of them? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that there's 6 books in this series? I didn't know that. I thought it was just the one. Is that Jason Momoa? Probably. Oh my god, it's the other guy. Oh my god, there's so many like famous people. Anyways, sorry, I keep looking at the book. The next one on the thing of books that I want to read. This one's a lot smaller than other books, by the way. Look at the difference. It's like a pocket edition. Which that's not fitting in your pocket. Let me just tell you that right now. I don't know why it's so small, but whatever. This is Dune. I don't know what it's about, but as you can see, Zendaya is in it. So obviously I want to watch the movie at some point. And then I wanted to read the book because Zendaya seems really cool. I don't think she's a really big part of it. I could be wrong. I don't know. But this book is about a mythical and emotionally charged hero's journey. Dune tells the story of Paul, nope, we're not saying that last name, a brilliant and gifted young man born into a great destiny beyond his understanding, who must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people. That is the longest sentence I have ever read in my life. Malevolent forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resource in existence, a commodity capable of unlocking humanity's greatest potential. Only those who can conquer their fear will survive. This whole paragraph, there's 2 sentences. This is 2 sentences. That's crazy. The one sentence doesn't even end until like down here. That's so long. Oh my gosh, that's so long. But yeah, no, this story seems really cool, and I don't know. I just, I saw it on the shelf. Actually, funnily enough, I bought this at the grocery store. I buy a lot of my, not a lot of them, but some of the novels I get, I buy at like grocery stores or pharmacies or whatever for whatever books they have like with them or there at the time. Because it was only $10.99 for this book. Look at how thick this thing is. It's only like $11. So, I mean, obviously I was going to buy it. So, I'm really excited to read this one. And then maybe once I've read it, I'll watch the movie. We'll see. Zendaya's eyes are blue in this one. That's so interesting. But it's another one I would like to read. I'm so excited to read this one. This one's going to take me the rest of my life to read, though. Although it doesn't look like there's that many words on the page, so maybe I'll get through a decent amount at once. This spine is going to get so cracked by the time I'm done. That's why we don't like really thick books like that. But that's fine. So that book is another one I want to read. This one I just bought. What is the 60th anniversary edition? I was talking about it in a different video, and I didn't know what, oh, interesting. This book is not as long as I thought it was. Hold on a minute. I gotta find the end of this book. Oh my god. Where's the end? Okay. Are we there yet? Yes. Okay, so this book is 158 pages long, with the introduction being like 10 pages. So it's Fahrenheit 451. If you are a long time watcher of this channel, this is my favorite book in the whole world. This is what first got me into reading in the first place, because I was forced to read it in high school. But as I read more, I grew to love and enjoy this book, and I will definitely be annotating this one because it has a lot more in it than just the story itself, which is like 157 pages. Is an introduction by Neil Gaiman, and then there's the story, and then after that there's this whole like thing afterwards, like the second half of the book. This is the second half. There's the story of Fahrenheit 451, so like learning kind of the story behind it, and then the other voices, which are like, I'm not sure, other parts to this book, or like some other like lore stuff, I don't know, or authors' take on this and whatnot. Oh, and then they made there was a play made, I think. Oh, they made a movie for this in 1966, apparently. That's really cool. Didn't know that. And then I know they made another one recently, which I will never watch. Not happening. They're just going to ruin the book for me, so I won't do that. But, so there's a little bit about that, and there's a lot of other books that Ray Bradbury has written. So, and then this one is about, let's see. Guy Montag is a fireman. His job is to destroy the most illegal of commodities, the printed book, along with the houses in which they are hidden. Montag never questions the destruction and ruin of his actions produce, returning each day to his bland life and wife Mildred, who spends all of her day with her television family. But when he meets an eccentric young neighbor, Clarice, who introduces him to a past where people didn't live in fear, and to a present where One sees the world through the ideas in books instead of mindless chatter of television. Montag begins to question everything he has ever known. So that's really cool. And this, I mean, obviously, this is just the best book I have ever read. I have not found another book I've loved more than this one. So this is definitely on my list of books that I want to read. And that is going to be the second reread on the list. But this one is a very special place in my heart. So I definitely want to reread this book because it's just so special to me. You know, it's just... Everyone has a favorite book, and this is mine. I love it so much. I could honestly cry because I love it so much. It's just... It's so good. It's so good. I don't remember... Oh no, I did get pretty far into this, actually. Okay, anyways. So that's another book I want to read. The last book on the list is... Oh my god, it's so thick. Oh my god, this book is 1 billion pages long. Are you kidding me? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so, this author, I've read a different book by Christopher Paolini. It's called Elder Race. It's probably closer to a novella. It's a very short book. I got it from the library. It was very good. And I found this other book at the bookstore when I was there. This book is massive, and it's actually really heavy too. Like, if I needed a weight, this would be the one. It's called To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. Look at how pretty this cover is. 100% why I picked it up, and I know the author, so I was like... Yeah, pretty cover, and it's, like, kind of shiny, to it. The thing's not really doing it just... Oh, there you go, and now you can kind of see it. Yeah, it's so pretty. And the cover, or the side, is really nice, too. I don't think it... Oh, it is shiny, too! Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's, like, got a metallic way to it, and I love the person in the middle. And just the whole... Very nice. Very nice. Very well put together. Definitely pulled me in. So, this book, I've had this on my shelf for a couple years now. It's... I'm gonna be reading this for the rest of my life, probably. I don't know if I'm going to do any, like, annotation on it. If I do, it probably won't be that much. Oh, hey, look. The R.J. Julia bookstore. That's where I go. I'm sorry. The Wesleyan R.J. Julia bookstore, because it's technically for Wesleyan. So this book is about, let's see. Kira Navarez dreamed of life on other worlds. Now she's awakened to a nightmare. During a routine survey mission on an uncolonized planet, Kira finds an alien relic. At first she's delighted, but elation turns into terror when the ancient dust around her begins to move. As war erupts among the stars, Kira is launched into a galaxy-spanning odyssey of discovery and transformation. First contact isn't at all what she imagined, and events push her to the very limits of what it means to be human. While Kira faces her own horrors, Earth and its colonies stand upon the brink of annihilation. Now Kira might be humanity's greatest and final hope. Space holds countless secrets, and she just found the deadliest one. Yeah? Yeah. Space travel. I love it, because I love space, and that's actually why I picked up the book, because I knew it was somewhat about space, because I read the back just a little bit, and I love space. Mass Effect is the greatest video game series that has ever been created. Tali is very special. Shepard is just wow. But I love space. I would never want to go to space. Absolutely not. No, never. But I love looking at space. I love learning about space. I love stories that take place in space. I think those are just the coolest stories because you get to be so creative, because you can almost, you can do whatever you want. It's space. We don't know that much, so you can just come up with whatever you want. And so I think this book is going to be really good. It's very thick. It's actually probably as thick as the Dune book, but like 2 times bigger. So there are a lot of words on the pages. So it's going to take me forever to read. This book is so big. It lays flat on its own. Like, I don't even have to hold this book. I mean, in these earlier pages, probably. But when you get towards, like, page, like, 100... Oh, my God. The book just stays open by itself. It's just so crazy. Oh! There's parts to this, too. Oh! So pretty. Each part has, like, a little... Oh, man. Can I show the whole thing? Yeah. Look at how pretty that is! I wonder if all of them are different. See if I can find the next part. Oh, there's a picture in here. Space! Ooh, oh, that's really pretty, actually. That's so pretty. Wow. Okay, so this is probably the book that I am the most excited to read, but will I read it anytime soon? That's the real question, and I'll probably make a review about each book individually, or maybe I'll put some of them together in the same review. Who knows? Depends on how long these videos end up being. But those are the top 10 books I want to read right now, like so badly. So these are at the top of my list if I ever stop going to the library to get more books. Or if I stop listening to audiobooks at any point. Maybe I'll actually read some books, like actually pick up a book and read it, and we'll see what happens. But let me know down in the comments some of your recommendations for really good books that you've read recently, or in general, what your favorite book is, things like that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!